ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवतीरुत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। ओम ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशकारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री द्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। श्रीमद् भागवतम Canto 5 Chapter 5 verse 14. We started this yesterday. कर्माशयं हृदय ग्रन्थिबन्धम् अविद्ययासादितम् अप्रमत्तः अनेन योगेन यथोपदेशं सम्यक् सम्यक् व्यपोह्य परमेत्त योगात्. As I have advised you, my dear sons, you should act accordingly. And we read yesterday the whole advice. Be very careful.
Hare Krishna,
Right.
Prabhu.
Yeah.
Prabhuji, the voice is little not clear.
Not clear. Okay. Okay, is this better?
Yeah. Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. By these means, you will be freed from the ignorance of the desire for fruitive activity, and the knot of bondage in the heart will be completely severed. For further advancement, you should also give up the means. That is, you should not become attached to the process of liberation itself. Okay, so yesterday, Prabhu asked a question saying that, how do we get over this attachment to home, etc. So here, Ṛṣabhadeva is saying, by these means, you'll be freed from the ignorance of the desire for fruitive activity. So all this is fruitive activity, home, etc., right? So by these means, so just following the advice that Ṛṣabhadeva has given, one will be freed from the ignorance and the knot of bondage in the heart. So this whole thing, aham and mama, is the knot of bondage in the heart will be completely severed. Purport: the process of liberation is Brahma Jignasa, the search for the absolute truth. So this is specifically liberation, process for liberation. Generally, Brahma Jignasa is called Neti, the process by which one analyzes existence to search out the absolute truth. So he analyzes existence, meaning whatever exists here. And then says, this is not the absolute truth, this is not the absolute truth, this is not the absolute truth. So that is negation by negation. This is the Brahma Jignasa process. This method continues as long as one is not situated in his spiritual life. So this neti is to actually finally come to this position of being situated in spiritual life, meaning he actually found the absolute truth. Spiritual life is Brahma Bhuta, the self-realized state. So right now, till we reach this self-realized state, which is the Brahma Bhuta state, spiritual life has not started. Now, whatever we are practicing is to actually come to this spiritual life, self-realized state. And Bhagavad Gita 18.54 says, Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma Na Sochati Na Kankshati. Samasarveshu bhuteshu mad bhaktim labhate param. One who is thus transcendentally situated at once realizes the Supreme Brahman and becomes fully joyful. Prasannatma. He never laments or desires to have anything. He never laments or desires to have anything. He is equally disposed to every living entity. In that state, mad bhaktim labhate param, he attains pure devotional service. This is what I said. When Prabhupada says bhaktim, for us it is pure devotional service, not just devotional service. Right? Bhaktim param, which is pure devotional service. So we should understand this Brahma Bhuta is the beginning of spiritual life, which is a self-realized state. So now we are practicing to get to that state. And when we get to that state, we get bhakti. We get pure devotional service. This is a transcendental platform. Now what we are doing is to get to this transcendental platform. The idea is to enter into para bhakti, the transcendental devotional service of the Supreme Lord. To attain this, one must analyze one's existence, but when one is actually engaged in devotional service, he should not bother seeking out knowledge. Now, this knowledge is this Brahman knowledge. Or the knowledge that is sought after to come to the Supreme Brahman. That knowledge is not required because one who does bhakti already come to that platform. He's already got the Supreme Brahman. He's now engaging in his service. By simply engaging in devotional service undeviatingly, one will always remain in the liberated condition. But the important thing here is undeviatingly. Mam cha yo vyabhicharena bhakti yogena sevate sagunan samatityaitan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. So how does one come to the brahma bhuta stage? Is mam cha yo avyabhicharini bhakti. Abhyabhicharena means undeviating, meaning no other goal in life. So that person, Sagunan Samati Taitan, he transcends the modes and comes to Brahma Bhuta. And then Brahma Bhuta Prasannatmana Sochatina Kankshati Samasarveshu Bhuteshu Mad Bhaktim Labhate Param. So Krishna starts in Bhagavad Gita, 2nd chapter. Krishna tells Arjuna, Traigunya Vishaveda Nistraigunya Bhavarjuna. Then he doesn't answer how to do that Nistraigunya. Then in the 14th chapter, when he's starts discussing the modes, in the 26th verse, he actually gives the solution. Mamcha yo avyabhicharena bhakti yogena sevate. So undeviatingly engage in my service. Engage in my devotional service. Then samati tetan. Then you will be in the liberated condition. The unflinching execution of devotional service is in itself Brahma Bhuta. Now this is very interesting. This is why bhakti is amazing, right? So by unflinching execution of devotional service itself, we can understand that itself is Brahma Bhuta stage. So it's like a cyclic reference, right? So when one comes to Brahma Bhuta stage, Mad Bhaktim Labhate Param. But one who engages in devotion, he already comes to the Brahma Bhuta platform. So the only gap here is that we are not still Nasochati Nakangshati. But if we are unflinchingly executing devotional service, in course of time, we will come to that Nasochati Nakangshati, no lamentation, no hankering state. Right, which is actually then will be pure devotion, because then we are not hankering for anything, because we are already in the path of devotion. It will become pure devotion. Okay, let me clarify this a little. So for those who don't come through the path of devotion, but who come through the path of karma and then gnana, etc., first they have to come to the liberated state. Then they will, if they don't remain Nirakaravadis, then they can understand that, okay, there is Bhagavan, and they can come to the platform of devotional service. And when one is in pure Brahmabhuta, it will anyway pure devotional service because there won't be any other desire, because no sauchati na kankshati. So this is the normal path. But for those who are already engaged in bhakti, unflinching devotion, they're already in the Brahmabhuta state. Which, and like I said, but this has to be without desire, without selfless devotion, just for the pleasure of Guru and Krishna. Right? Then we are already on the Brahmabhuta stage, just that there are some anarthas which have to go. And as soon as the anarthas go, then we are already in pure devotional service. So it's a much advanced stage than the Gnanis. Another important feature in this connection is Anena Yogena Yathopadesham. The instructions received from the spiritual master must be followed immediately. Okay, so must be followed immediately means work has to start on that. Like Prabhupada took so many years to be ready to execute the order of his spiritual master. But work has to start immediately. So yesterday was the very auspicious day of appearance day of His Holiness Jayapatak Maharaj. And I was reading his message to all his disciples and sheltered devotees, etc. So it is very, very clear. Maharaj is very, very clearly giving the instructions. He is clearly given the instructions. But unfortunately, I am not very sure how many disciples, sheltered devotees actually read the message and took it seriously. Right? So it's very clear. Anena yogena yathopadesham, instructions received must be followed immediately. Immediately we have to start thinking. And sincere devotees do start the process, right? So our Harnath Prabhu, he heard this. He is a disciple of His Holiness Jayapatak Maharaj. Immediately he sent me a message saying, Prabhu, I have to do these things. Please guide me. So that is a sign of sincerity. Sincere disciple will immediately start thinking about how to execute the spiritual master's instructions. Somebody is muted, unmuted. Guru Bhakta Prabhu, mute. One should not deviate from or surpass the instructions of the spiritual masters. See, please note this. So clear instructions. One should not deviate or surpass the instructions. So we should just follow whatever has been said. One should not be simply intent on consulting books, but should simultaneously execute the spiritual master's order. Some devotees do a lot of reading, but they don't put anything into practice. That is useless reading. Reading is useful only when that jnana is converted into vijnana, applied knowledge. So actually, I was surprised actually some devotees, they keep doing Shravanam. Whatever you ask, they'll say, no, I don't have time, I'm doing Shravanam. And then when we say, okay, please come and engage in this service, we need some devotees for subject cutting. They say, no, we can't do all this. We have to just do Shravanam. That's what we've been told. What is the use of this Shravanam if that Shravanam doesn't purify us? Shravanam doesn't bring us to the stage of pure devotional service. Shravanam doesn't, inspire us to actually serve Hari Guru Vaishnavas. Then what is the use of that Shravanam? So simply reading books, no use. The effect of reading books is actually practical service. Meaning, Shravanam is mental service, but we also need physical service. Both are required. That's how we show love to Krishna, right? It's not just by some lip service. So it is natural. Either the devotee would want to preach or would want to, not just either. Okay, somebody might be a big preacher, but if it requires that Vegetables have to be cut. Vegetables have to be cut. Prabhupada said, what is the difficulty? Do whatever it takes. Whatever is required for the situation. If it means cleaning the floor, clean the floor. If it means taking all, devotees have eaten prasadam, then you have to clean the floor, take out all the juta, do it. Whatever it takes. Just doesn't mean that somebody sitting on Vyasasana will say, no, this is not my caliber work. That means they've not really understood. They've not really read. Mystic power should be achieved to enable one to give up the material conception. But when one actually engages in devotional service, one does not need to practice the mystic yoga system. So mystic yoga, this whole Gnana process or Ashtanga yoga process, all of this is just to give up the material conception. But when one engages in devotional service, then we don't need any other practice. And the point is that one can give up the practice of yoga, but devotional service cannot be given up, because at the end, all perfection is achieved only through devotion. But other parts of your process of yoga meant for liberation should be given up for bhakti. As stated in Srimad Bhagavatam 1.7.10. Atma ramascha munayo nigrantha api urukrame kurvantya hetukim bhaktim ittam bhuta guno harihi. Even those who are liberated, Atma Rama, must always engage in devotional service. One may give up the practice of yoga when one is self-realized. But at no stage can one give up devotional service. All other activities of self-realization, including yoga and jnana, may be given up, but devotional service must be retained at all times. So we can understand how fortunate we are that we have directly come to this ultimate process to achieve Krishna, which is the topmost rung in the ladder, yoga ladder, is devotional service. But if we remain a mixed devotional service, then it is lower rung, lower stage. Pure devotional service is the topmost rung. Meaning not doing devotion for gaining any material benefit or for philosophical speculation, to get some jnana. Jnanis think that, okay, devotion is just a means to the end. So that is also not pure devotion. That is also Mishra. So we have to come to this pure devotional service. And in pure devotional service, the important thing is that there is no self-centeredness. Be it even with respect to service also. Some devotees, they come out very easily from this material attachments, material attractions and all that. But they get stuck on the platform of devotion where they want to do only whatever they like to do, not whatever it takes. So then they get stuck there also. It's also some form of selfishness, sense gratification. So pure devotional service means doing whatever it takes. Right? If it means preaching, preach. If it means singing, sing. If it means dancing, dance. If it means cleaning, clean. And that state should be retained at all times, because that is the goal. That is the process and that is the goal. That is the destination. That's what we are going to do when we go to Goloka. Right? So any questions from what we discussed yesterday? So I will continue now the yesterday's discussion that message that I had sent from Harinam Chintamani, because it's pretty aligned to what we are discussing right now. So, so the message was about Nama, Bhasa and Nama Aparadha and Shuddha Nama. So let me explain what these are three stages in the chanting of the holy name. Nama Aparadha, Nama Bhasa and Shuddha Nama. Now, So nama bhasa means reflection of the pure name, meaning it is not the pure name. Shuddha nama means pure name. The pure name comes when one reaches, one is above nama bhasa and nama prada, then his chanting is on the pure platform. He is taking the pure nama. Okay, now this nama bhasa has two stages. Chaya nama bhasa and pratibimba nama bhasa. Chaya is a shadow, right? Let me open that message. So Chaya nama bhasa is like a shadow. Shadow means the original image is as it is. Meaning, what is a shadow? There is one object, and because of light falling on that object, there is a shadow of that object. Now, the shadow is exactly like the object, right? It has the same shape of the object, same size as the object, etc. So this is called Chaya Nama Bhasa. So in Chaya Nama Bhasa, okay, then let me also explain what is Pratibimba Nama Bhasa. Pratibimba is reflection. Now, what is this Pratibimba? Reflection means, like, for example, there is a reflection of a tree in the water. Now, if the water is shaking because of wind, what happens to the reflection? The reflection also shakes. Or we can say this, the image becomes distorted. Okay, the image becomes distorted. So the nama becomes distorted, meaning it doesn't remain the original nama. So in the Chaya, the nama is just the nama, original nama is there. It's only the shadow of the nama. But in Pratibimba, the nama is there, but the nama is distorted. Like the reflection of the tree on the water. And when there is wind and the water is shaking, the image also shakes. Is this clear so far?
Yeah, Proji, that difference between Nama Bhasa and Pratibimb in practical terms is not clear.
No. Nama Bhasa has two subdivisions. One is called Chaya Nama Bhasa and the other one is called Pratibimba Nama Bhasa. Chaya Nama Bhasa is when the Nama Abhasa is just shadow. There is a shadow of the Nama. It's not the actual Nama. The actual Nama is called Shuddha Nama. Okay, now the Shuddha Nama has appeared as a shadow. The shadow of the Shuddha Nama has appeared, which is Chaya Nama Bhasa. Is that clear?
Yeah.
And the Pratibimba is a reflection. And as you know, the reflection actually is affected by external factors. So so like water shakes, the image also in the water shakes. So and it becomes distorted. The original image is not seen clearly. Correct? This much is clear?
Yes, Proji. Yeah.
Okay. Now, when does this, and this is both a question of faith. So the whole process of chanting is based on faith. What does that mean? When somebody has full faith that the Nama is not different from Krishna, that is the Shuddha Nama faith. That person can chant in Shuddha Nama. Okay? When he has full faith saying Nama is not different from Krishna. Now, when his faith is little weak, it is little weak. It is not like fully there, right? Okay, yeah, Krishna Nama is non-different, but it doesn't have full faith. Little weak faith. This weak faith is the stage of Chaya Namabhasa. And this devotee, he has no material desire. The one who doesn't have any material desire, but whose faith is not very strong, is in the Chaya Namabhasa stage. Is this clear?
Yeah.
Others, if you have any questions, please, because I know it's a very tough topic. It has taken me many years to understand this. So the devotee doesn't have any material desires, but his faith is not very strong. It's a weak faith. And then his chanting is called Chaya Namabhas. Okay. Now the worst is the Pratibimba Namabhas. Now who engages in this? What is this Pratibimba Namabhas stage? It is otherwise called Nama Aparadha. Pratibimba Namabhasa stage is called Nama Aparadha. When the faith is distorted, like I said, Pratibimba means distorted. So in this, the faith is distorted. Now, what does this distorted faith means? He doesn't have full faith in Krishna. And he has persistent desire for material enjoyment or liberation. So important word here is persistent desire. Okay, meaning I want this, I want that, I want a better life, I want comfort, I want, like persistent. It's there all the time. Like either better material conditions, better, family relations, happiness in family, or I want a lot of wealth. All this, in any material desire which is persistent. This person has a distorted faith. He doesn't have faith in the Nama. He doesn't have faith in Krishna. He's still in material conception of life. When such a devotee chants the name, it is called Pratibimba Nama Bhasa or Nama Aparadha, because he will be stuck in Aham and Mama. And of course, because his faith is distorted, he will ignore the instructions of Guru Ravagya. He will criticize Vaishnavas, Sadhu Ninda. He will, all those 10 Nama Aparadhas, right? Which happen just because he doesn't have faith in Krishna and Krishna's holy name. Full faith he doesn't have. He has distorted faith. And when such a devotee is chanting in his Nama is in the Pratibimba Nama Bhasa or Nama Aparadha stage. Now, Nama Aparadha stage basically means too many offenses. Too many offenses. That stage is called Nama Aparadha. Full of offenses. Because starting with not having faith in the Nama. Then slowly one chants in the association of devotees with lot of Shravanam, chanting in front of Tulsi Maharani, and really begging for mercy to, come out of this persistent desire for material enjoyment. And as he does more Shravanam, associates with devotees who have more faith, the devotee slowly makes progress to the stage of Chaya Namabhasa. Nama Aparadha stage, nothing can be accomplished because there is still material desire. So no liberation, no Krishna Prema. It's just some piety. Go to Swarga. Nama Aparadha stage. Okay, Chaya Namabhasa can give one liberation. But still, the faith is weak, and the devotee will still have anarthas. He still has anarthas, but he is not doing any of the offenses. Now, one of the there are Bhaktivinoda Thakur actually classifies Nama and anarthas into 3. So this is a little bit confusing. So there is thirst for material objects, which is what is that? Asat Trishna. Trishna means thirst. For Asat, for material object. There is thirst, but it is not persistent. So there is some material desire, but it's not persistent. It comes and goes. You know, sometimes when he or she is in the association of good devotees, doing a lot of Shravanam, etc., etc., it goes. And only once in a while it keeps coming back. So the thirst is not there. Persistent desire is not there. Once in a while, anartha, because of anartha, because of second anartha, weakness of heart, hridaya daurbalyam. So some thirst is there for material objects. And then there will be other aparadhas also. Like, for example, it might not, yeah, like seva aparadha might happen, Vaishnava aparadha might happen, but that is all happening just because of anarthas. I mean, the devotee is not intentionally doing all these things. It's just weakness of heart. But he's very, very sincere and he wants to make progress. Then these anarthas will get cleared very quickly because of the faith in the Nama. That the Nama is not different from Krishna, and Nama is the goal of life, and Krishna Prema and all that. So the slowly, steadily, the devotee will beg for forgiveness, pray for mercy, and slowly, steadily Harinam Chintamani says quickly. Actually, it should get clear quickly. Of course, the quickly is a very relative term, but it should not take many years. Quickly, by the faith, the anarthas are gone, and the devotee actually comes to the Shuddha Nama stage. But the key thing here is the power, is the faith in the holy name. So we might still not be on the Shuddha Nama. Shuddha Nama stage means completely we are like engrossed in the Nama, and then slowly Nama reveals everything else, right? But Chaya Nama Bhasa means it's it's like a shadow of the holy name. And then there are still some anarthas. But it's not Nama Aparadha. It's not Nama Aparadha. So most of the Nama Aparadhas are actually. So even in Chaya Nama Bhasa, even though there's inattention, because there's not full attention on the Nama, but there is not, the inattention is not towards material things. So it might be something connected to devotion only, but the devotee is not able to fully focus, put attention on hearing the Nama, because that will happen only when there is love for Krishna, right? But the attention goes here, there, little bit here and there, but it goes on to only spiritual subjects only, not material subjects. So basically, we should understand that somebody in this Chaya Nama Bhasa more or less is on the Nama Brahmabhuta stage, more or less. And that devotee can get liberation because he's already more or less on the Brahmabhuta stage. As soon as the anarthas go away, then he'll come to Brahmabhuta and he gets liberation. But for devotees, we don't want liberation. So then we go on, we continue from the Chaya Nama Bhasa to Shuddha Nama, and then we get Krishna Prema and Krishna. So what is the important thing? The important thing is to not run behind material desires. We all have anarthas because of our past lives, past conditioning, etc., which is there, which will come and disturb us. All that is known, understood, fine. There's no issue. But we should not run behind it. That's the whole point. We should, in fact, try to escape from it. As long as the devotee is sincere, saying that, no, this is nonsense. Why am I getting stuck in this? But he might still not have the strength to overcome. Then he takes shelter of the holy name and says, Krishna, you are not different from your Nama. So please shower your mercy on me. And the devotee will also not, like in the initial stages, we also sit chanting. We might sit in front of the, form of the Lord or the photo of the Lord, etc. And the devotee definitely doesn't try to remember the form of the Lord, artificially, like mechanically. Because he knows that the Nama is not different from Krishna. So it's all a matter of increasing faith. And as faith increases, this material desire decreases. And hence we keep progressing from Nama Prada to Nama Bhasa to Shuddha Nama. And this is all the Shravanam that we do is to just make sure that we are not getting stuck materially. That's all. But the real test of the process or the progress is the chanting itself. So yesterday one devotee Kuldeep Prabhu also asked a related question saying that, and chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra is not different from the Lord, then we know it's so powerful. So why do we need to do other religious activity? We don't do any other religious activity. We do only bhakti activities. We don't do any other religious activity, so-called religious activity. Bhakti we should not consider it as normal religious activity. And then another question is, we can offer Lord with love and devotion, flowers, fruits, etc. Lord will accept. Then why do we require chanting? To come to that platform of love. We don't have that love. Just because, Shabari offered some, she tasted the fruit and offered, not that we will also just simply mechanically just imitate it and think that we are on platform of love. Platform of love means that we want Krishna and nothing else, and we are ready to do anything for him, for his pleasure, which includes our desire to be ready to do anything for the pleasure of Guru, which is practical stuff. Right? So love of Krishna means you should have love for Guru, love for Guru's instructions. So it's not easy to come to this platform of just offering everything with love to the Lord. We're just thinking that we have some sentiment right now. We have some sentiment. Love for Krishna means like, Madhavendra Puri was sitting in the forest and chanting Hare Krishna, not bothering to have any home. I mean, love for Krishna is where we don't have external consciousness at all, material consciousness at all. We don't even need to eat. We don't even need to sleep. So love of Krishna is not cheap. Is that okay?
Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
Prabhu, 3 questions I have. So, first question, we are in Chaya Namabhasa. Okay. So, the word little weakness in faith, is it due to anarthas which we are having? That is the first question, Prabhu. It is only dependent on anarthas, or what exactly it is? Because we don't have any material desires now. Like when we are chanting, we won't towards material desire. Not even like as you said, 1 time, 2 time, it may keep on coming. We don't have that. Then how exactly that little weakness?
Okay. Okay, so one thing, Shashank Prabhu is, like I am saying, you are in honeymoon period of Krishna consciousness. So what happens is that while initially those who are very sincere devotees actually experience this, it almost looks like I'm liberated. Okay, then little bit strong power, very difficult tests will come in our life. When we might come to the stage of asking something from Krishna. So there is still a lot of time to actually remain very remain on the platform of this not having any persistent material desire. Consistently, we should remain on that platform for years. As we go through our life and all the ups and downs of the life. And these are the tests that Krishna will put. In spite of all the tests, if we can remain on the platform of not asking anything from Krishna, then that means that we are, yes, then we can say we are in the Chaya Nama Bhasa. When, yeah, literally anything, nothing really. We will not ask for anything. And slowly and gradually the faith has to increase. Now, see, the anarthas are there because the anarthas are there from our past lives, because we have been material in our past lives. But the faith in the holy name can destroy the anarthas.
Okay, Prabhu. And Prabhu, second question
One
was,
second, just 1 second. So, is everybody clear about this? See, the anarthas are there because it's just come from our previous lives. It's our vasanas. If in this life we are not intently pursuing material desires, but still there are on and off material desires and some weakness of heart because of which we do some nonsense activities, or we are doing some, say, some other aparadas, etc. It just means that it is by the force of the past misdeeds, which are anarthas, which have now in us as anarthas, we are doing some things which are not Krishna, which are not ideal. But the devotee should not be happy about it, or should not want to develop this desire further. Right? That is very important. Then remain consistently not trying to overcome the anarthas by very good quality chanting and association with pure devotees and all the activities of devotional service. And then when the anarthas are completely gone, then it becomes Shuddhanama. Okay. If there is any question, anybody?
Prabhu, I have one more question, Prabhu.
No, connected to what I've said now.
Okay.
Whatever I said now, is it clear? Because it's slightly, like I said, it's pretty difficult, not easy to understand. Yeah, Vamshi Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. So,
Yeah.
if a person who is in Nama Aparada, then are they, I would say, not following the 10 offenses? I mean, are they doing any of these 10 offenses? Is that the stage?
Yeah, they will be doing offenses. They'll be doing Nama Prada. Then they will also have persistent material desire, which is the trigger.
Okay. And Chaya Nama Basa is a person who is not doing any 10 offenses.
Yeah, so he is not, most important qualities, he doesn't have any persistent desire for material things. But because of anartha, some offenses might happen, like I said, like not the other Nama Pradas, inattention might happen. But he has come out of everything else, aham, mama, everything. This inattention basically means he's not having full focus on the Nama. His mind is still going here and there. But that's not going to so much material things as much as spiritual things.
Okay, Prabhu. Understood.
Okay, anything else? Okay, yeah, Shashank Prabhu, your second question, then we'll come to Vinod.
Okay. Yep. So, Prabhu, second question was, so we will go to Shuddhanama, as you said, when the key is complete faith. But there are still chances, even if we go to Shuddhanama, we may fall down back to...
No, then we are in Chayanama Basa. Shuddhanama, no question of falling down. That's why it's a very exalted state. That's why we might feel like we are in the stage of Shuddhanama, but we are not. Generally Shuddhanama is a stage where one cannot fall down. One does not fall down.
Okay, Prabhu. Clear. The third question, can I ask, Prabhu?
Yeah. Yes.
So, Prabhu, this I wanted to ask, like, personally, because when I chant, like, if we get some thoughts related to preaching or something, is that again comes under the second category? Like,
yeah, more or less Chayanama Bas.
Even like thoughts which is related to the only devotional activities.
No, it should be, we should understand this. Chanting means hearing the name, and then the name should reveal the Rupa, Guna, Leela, etc. of the Lord. Okay, so like I said, once I asked this to Vidwan Gaurang Prabhu, he said it is auspicious, which means that it's going in the right direction, but still the nothing else except Krishna should be there. This is what I heard, because even I thought that thinking about preaching might be okay, but he said, no, it's just auspicious. So then I understood, saying that then it has to simply, the focus has to simply remain, we should be drowned in the Nama. And then the Nama will reveal certain things at that point of time. If when you're drowned in the Nama is revealing something, then it's okay, but not intentional thinking about preaching or anything for that matter.
Okay. Okay, Prabhu. And as you said now, Guna, Nama, Varna. So three things.
No, Rupa, Guna, Leela, everything. The spiritual Dhamma. So from the Nama, the Rupa, the form of the Lord is revealed. Then his Dhamma is revealed. Then his Leelas are revealed. Everything gets revealed. Meaning it comes like, you're just chanting and certain things, it just becomes revealed to us. So it's not on the mental platform. Okay, please understand this. This is not on the mental platform. The thinking we are doing about our preaching activities is on the mental platform. This revelation which happens is on the spiritual platform. We don't understand what it is right now.
Exactly. Yeah, Prabhu,
but
I'm confused that spiritual and like.
Yeah, material mind. When you're involved, when you're using the mind, it is material. When the revelation happens, it doesn't happen on the material platform. Meaning it's difficult. Yeah, even I don't completely understand this, but this is what I'm hearing as of now. Okay.
Okay.
Some topics I discuss, which is maybe above my, as they say, pay grade, but it's also with an intention of making things more clear for myself and maybe others. And in course of that, maybe more doubts will come up, and then that will create a more hankering for us to get answers to those, which means more purification and so on and so forth. So yeah, so I will disclaimer, so take it with a pinch of salt. 95% I think of what I'm saying is as per Shastra. 5% might be speculation, but that speculation is not too far, meaning we'll be somewhere in and around the accurate information, just maybe not be 100% accurate. That's all. And we'll get there with, Vinod Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Thanks, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
So Prabhu, I just want to talk about my personal situation, right? So I feel like, based on what I just heard, I'm in a constant drag between the holy name and of course, some material desires. And then when it comes to this form and all, Prabhu, somehow my mind says that no, concentrating on name alone, it feels like it's nirvisesha, what do you call, for formlessness and all. So sometimes I feel maybe at the mental platform, as you said, I'm thinking about I'm just trying to remember Krishna, Radha and Krishna, as forms, right? I'm remembering deities and all. And then, I'm in a constant drag between these three, okay, while chanting. And then you said, at the end, attaining that love is important, but that is not happening for me. So how do you see that constant progress? How do you, where, which direction to go? I know just to get out of this slowly, right? Because I'm not getting that love or frame.
So the first thing is to make sure that you come out completely from this material desire business. That is a stage one.
Yes.
Right. Stage two is to not intentionally try to remember the form of the deity or anything. Don't try to intentionally remember. Like, see, some devotees, as they start chanting, first is they start thinking about the form of the Lord. We should start with hearing the name, and automatically we can switch to the form. Automatically, if it happens. But the ultimate stage is when really the form is revealed. Now the form, what can I say? Like an image of something that we have seen, for example, of a photo, right?
Yeah.
A photo, as soon as I think about, say Krishna, maybe Radha Madhav photo might come to my mind, which is okay, as long as it is not intentional. But that's still not the perfect stage, because the perfect stage is when actually Radha Madhav are revealed, not the photo, right? Live Radha Madhav will get revealed. So that is the ultimate stage. Right now, the mind is going towards the form of Radha Madhav, which is okay, if it is natural. Right? Again, like I said, if something, that's why all these are auspicious, because we are not going. Inauspicious is when the mind goes into material things. Auspicious means when the mind goes into spiritual things. It could be suddenly the form of the Lord that I remember, or some preaching or some shloka comes into the mind. No, all this is auspicious, but this is not the perfection. But if material things are coming while chanting, then it's much lower stage.
Okay, bro. So the progression should be to cut down on those material desires and then concentrate more on the hearing the names.
Yeah,
right? I know you mentioned earlier, but I keep reminding myself,
No, I keep reminding myself also by saying that it's not. See, I just know some of this in theory. Of course, the material desire part, possibly I'm like 98% maybe out of it. But the hearing, remaining fixed on the hearing is not easy. I mean, it requires a lot of effort. So we have to keep trying. That's all. But the important thing is that if it is not persistent desire, it's not nama parada. It's a great relief. That's the point I wanted to make actually with that. Right? Because many years I was not clear about what this nama parada is. Persistent desire for material things should not be there. That's the key.
Okay.
Right? If that is not there, then it's like we made tremendous progress. And then then we have much more to do, but very, very, very safe, very, very exalted state, that is not having persistent material desires. Okay. Anything else? Anybody?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. That was Prabhuji, like you say, when you come into pure love, you renounce everything, and there is no material desires at all.
No. I didn't say that. So just clarifying. So that is much before getting pure love. Much before getting love is the state when we are not materially, when we don't have material desires. Love cannot even come nearby when we have material desires. When material desires are gone completely, that is a Brahma Bhuta stage. That is just liberation stage. Then there is a lot more progress to be achieved to come to love of Krishna. It's not that love for Krishna comes and then material desires go. No, material desires should have gone for consistently for much long time. And when slowly attraction to Krishna goes on increasing, finally when we come to Bhava and Prema. So material desires have to go off very early stage. Like I keep saying, it's a very early stage in Bhakti. Material desires have to go off.
Prabhu, many times, even after renunciation, even after giving up material, there is again a downfall. Then what? There's a trace of.
That's okay. That tapi chet suduracharo. So Krishna also says in Bhagavad Gita, right? So if a devotee has intentionally come out of desires, and once in a while some fall down happens. That is okay. But the devotee should not want to develop the desire to go down. That's the important part. Okay. Okay. I think we are time up. So we'll continue with the next verse tomorrow. Krishna willing. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyo cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta Koti Vaishnavi ki jai, Samveta Gaura Bhaktam ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.